Hello, this is Dr. Mercola, and today I'd like to talk to you a little bit about supplementation. If you've been a long-time subscriber to the newsletter, you may remember in the past I wasn't always a very big fan of supplementing. And the reason I took this position was that I felt that ideally we should receive most of our nutrition from the foods that we're eating, that if you are eating high-quality, unprocessed, organic, preferably biodynamic food, you'll be able to avoid most nutritional deficiencies. As I've grown older, I've come to appreciate that this just isn't possible for most people because we're making compromises in our dietary choices, and as a result we predispose ourselves to developing nutritional deficiencies.
I talk about in the show, I passionately study them. I recognize that oftentimes they don't have the scientific muster to present as fact, but nevertheless I would give my audience the advice I give my family all the time, and I've given my family these products, specifically the ones you mentioned, then I'm comfortable with that part. Where I do think I've made it more difficult for the FTC is that in an intent to engage viewers, I used flowery language. I used language that was very passionate, but it ended up not being helpful but incendiary. And it provided fodder for unscrupulous advertisers.
Bilderberg is heavily involved in the EU plan and helped hatch it, and it is a Nazi plan. They had Lockheed scandals, just like the big lobbying scandals right now in the 70s, and that's why the SS officer, Prince Bernhard, the founder, had to step down. It is the ultimate lobbying meeting while you guys have this huge scandal going on. Your prime minister's going there. Okay. Balls was just here, Bilderberg group member. We have forced them from cover to admit that there are puppeteers above the major parties.
Chocolate lines up planetarily with the sun. Chocolate is an octave of sun energy. In fact, it's the energy of the center of the sun. It's a male energy that comes down off the sun, and it actually, out of all the plants, the cacao is right on line target of the center of the sun, which we call in our body the heart. And actually, cacao is right up with the center of the sun, which is the center of the heart, which is called the sacred heart. So the cacao is hitting that frequency of the sacred heart. And it's an energy that comes from the sun. Now,
all the time.
Well, then why would you say that something is a miracle in a bottle?
My job, I feel, on the show is to be a cheerleader for the audience. And when they don't think they have hope, when they don't think they can make it happen, I want to look, and I do look everywhere, including in alternative healing traditions, for any evidence that might be supportive to them. So you pick on green coffee bean extract. With the amount of information that I have on that, I still am comfortable telling folks that if you can buy a reputable version of it, and I say this all the time, I don't sell it, and these are not for long-term use. And by the way, with green coffee bean extract as an example, it's 1 pound a week over the duration of the different trials that have been done.
Yes.
Yeah, what would the days of school indicate?
They're healthier. They miss a number of missed days of school. If the unvaccinated kids miss 5 days of school and the vaccinated kids miss 27 days of school, well, it's primarily because the unvaccinated kids, you could interpret that to say that the unvaccinated kids are healthier.
But you missed the entire 3rd grade and you're unvaccinated.
I was sick, and it was good. Yeah, so maybe I'm not a scientific researcher. I don't know how to set all those things up.
So there's a lot of confusion about supplementation because there's thousands and thousands of different ones that you can use, and tens of thousands of different supplement manufacturers. So I thought I'd provide my insights to help you to shed some light, at least my views and perspectives on this, and to boil it down to the bare essentials. And if you're going to supplement and you really want to be cost effective about it, I really believe that there's just a few that are really crucial. And those
a lone crusader powering against them.
No, that's
so how come?
How am I alive?
How are you still alive?
Why am I alive?
Well, no, which is the
Why am I alive?
Which is the explanation? 1, they don't exist. Or 2, you're part of the conspiracy.
No, let me tell you a story.
I say the first.
5 years ago when Obama and Hillary...
I say the second.
5 years ago when Hillary and Obama were at Bilderberg and the Secret Service was there in helicopters, the New York Times came out and said I was crazy. There was no Bilderberg group meeting. And my wife got phone calls, and so did I, threatening to kill us. And the people said, and you better take it serious because you were just talking to your dad that was in the hospital. You better shut your mouth or we're going to cut your head off. Now,
in terms of planetary alchemy, what you want to use to balance off the cacao, because it's an alchemical process, you need something that's coming up with the earth force, or we call it the ormus, an energy that moves out of the earth towards the sun. That's ormus. Remember what I was telling you about? Like if you become loaded with ormus, all the cosmic energies come right into you. because it wants to mate with you. Coconut water is an Ormus energy substance. It comes from out of the earth. When you cut it open, you'll see it has a blue shimmer in there sometimes, especially wild coconuts in Hawaii. That's an indicator of the Ormus.
Fortunately, because we are burning coal in the U.S. to generate most of the electricity, and we are dumping tons, literally tons of mercury into the environment, most of the oceans in the world are contaminated, and as a result, the mercury and other toxins bioaccumulate in the food chain, and as a result, most of the fish are not really suitable for a source of high-quality animal-based omega-3 fats. So that's why I now recommend krill oil for a number of reasons. One is because it has virtually no mercury or heavy metal toxicity because of the size of the organism. But in addition, it's loaded with beneficial, high-quality antioxidants. And these antioxidants prevent the oxidation from the air from these omega-3 fats, which are highly perishable.
Casco, those topics you mentioned are over 2 years old. I have not been talking about products in that way for 2 years. And it has not changed at all what I'm seeing on the internet, and frankly, it's getting worse. So I completely heed your commentary, and I realize to my colleagues at the FTC that I have made their jobs more difficult. That's why I came today.
Good.
Ladies and gentlemen, if they kill me, it turns me into a martyr. It puts big exclamation points on the end of what I've said, and I have put out a lot of information. There's millions of others that are exposing it. And look, we have mega banks that are getting $85 billion a month of U.S. taxpayer money. Most of it goes to Europe and England. British taxpayers, EU taxpayers have to pay to these mega bankers. They're in there setting this up. It's come out. And then the media distracts you with, look at a guy that talked to a lobbyist, when the real lobbyist is going on.
Listen.
Goji berry has the Ormus in it. It's in the polysaccharide. I don't know if maca does, but I suspect it does because it has that alchemical synergy with the cacao. The herbal components that we like to put in there, like the medicinal mushrooms, have that Ormus force, an energy that uplifts and levitates.
If you're interested, you know, as I said earlier, the challenge is to sort of sort through all these different manufacturers, and there's many issues, and I'm sure you're familiar with some, and you clearly do not want to go with the lowest price. It's been my experience that typically the lowest price leader is going to compromise some way in quality because you want to make sure that there's no magnesium stearate or titanium dioxide, and that they incorporate high-quality manufacturing processes to catch any errors or mistakes that are made. So we've gone through the due diligence and we've selected high-quality manufacturers that you can trust that really will provide outstandingly high-quality products.
Hey, listen, I'm here to warn people. You keep telling me to shut up. This isn't a game. Okay, our government in the U.S. is building FEMA camps. We have an NDAA where they disappear people now. You have this arrest for public safety, life in prison.
You are the worst person I've ever interviewed.
No, it's basically off with their heads, disappear
David,
them,
thank you for being with us.
Infowars.com.
It's 11:30. You're watching the Sunday Politics. We have an idiot on the program today. Coming up in just 20 minutes.
You will not stop the Republic. Humanity is awakening. Infowars.com. No, you guys